Marvel's Thor is one of their most successful franchises, and in the last week there has been a lot of talk about a fifth installment of the series. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about what we can expect from a fifth Thor movie, if it will happen, and which classic direction it may go. Well, in the last week or so, we've been getting a lot of hullabaloo about the possibilities of a fifth Thor movie. The Chris Hemsworth-led franchise has been pretty darn successful for Marvel Studios, and even though the fourth movie wasn't what fans were expecting, overall it has been a total success. Now, Taika Waititi did hint that a potential Thor 5 could happen, but he did clarify those comments, but I think it does beg a lot of questions about what to expect about a fifth installment of the series. Now, I think when we talk about Thor 5, the first thing we should expect is whether it will happen or not. And honestly, I believe it will. Financially, the series has done really well, and despite the fourth installment not connecting with fans in the same way, the series is very financially successful. Thor is also one of those original legacy characters from the early MCU, and it appears as Marvel makes some adjustments to connect with fans, I do believe they'll be leaning on those characters a little more heavily, and Thor will definitely be one of those characters. Now, we also have to think about Chris Hemsworth, and although you're seeing Chris show up in a lot of places, let's be real, the Thor franchise is his bread and butter. Hemsworth has been in a lot of movies, but none of them have been anywhere near as financially successful as the Thor franchise, and honestly guys, Hemsworth makes a big buck off of each one of these films, and that allows him to be more experimental as an actor. We've heard him talk about this in the past, and how this frees him up to do stuff he wants to do, and in addition to that, he's made it super clear he would love to come back to the character, just taking it in a different direction. His work with Taika Waititi, at least on the third movie, was completely awesome, but I think the fourth movie, at least together, it went a little bit in the wrong direction. Taika Waititi is a great director, there's no doubt about it, but honestly, Thor Love and Thunder was a little too, well, Taika. And although I do think he might return, I think he is professional enough to know where he needs to adjust, and I do believe we'll get much more of a Ragnarok-style story, or even significantly darker. If you've seen Jojo Rabbit, you know Taika knows how to go dark, and I'm pretty sure a fifth Thor movie with Taika Waititi would embrace some of those capabilities. Now, as for the darker story, if you listen to what Taika said, well, it kind of gives you some clues. He made it pretty clear we need a, well, more powerful villain than Hela, who was, well, quite ultra powerful. Following Hela and Gore won't be easy, but I think if they weave the proper dark tale, it'll work out just fine. I think in order to do this, we need to return to a little bit of the classic stories, like Ulik the Troll or many of the other Thor characters that have kind of been lost or put to the background because the franchise itself has advanced so far. And this is something else I think we can expect to change. Honestly, in a fifth Thor movie, I do believe we'll see a restoration of Asgard and the Asgardian gods. This has happened in the comics before, where all the Asgardian gods passed away, but found their way back to the Marvel Universe. I think the tease for the restoration of the gods was clipped right at the end of Thor Love and Thunder, when we saw Jane Foster head into Valhalla and be greeted by Heimdall. This suggests that all or most of those gods do exist in that realm, and with the proper story, we could see them once again return to the MCU, and possibly even to Oklahoma, which was a big part of the comics and would create an incredibly cool story to see them return. Now, in any case, Thor is a massive part of the MCU, and I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. Marvel and Disney are refocusing everything, and I think these high-profile legacy characters are going to be key to that. And since right now we don't have Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr., I think the focus of this will indeed be Chris Hemsworth's Thor, and more than likely Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. Keeping the original Avengers on screen will provide a lot of nostalgia value for fans of the MCU, put butts in seats, and will be the thing that could potentially revitalize some of the slipping that's been going on over the last couple of years. But how all that works out, we're gonna have to wait and see.